Hi everybody, and thanks for checking out this video here on G4G, Games for Gamers. I'm your host, Napalm Dawn, and today we are here in Heroes of the Storm. In case you're not familiar with it, it is the MOBA that is produced by Blizzard. This is essentially a throwback to its roots, if you're not familiar with HOTS. Essentially, back in the StarCraft days, a community mod was made called Dota, the Ancients, and that basically started the whole MOBA setup. And then from there, it went on to basically be its own franchise, and League of Legends started, and Heroes of New Earth, and so on and so forth. And then, you know, Blizzard brought it back around, and this was originally going to be called Blizzard All-Stars, and now it is called Heroes of the Storm. So, we can see the new hero that has been released on today's patch day, and that is Rexxar, which is part ogre and part orc. And he is voiced over by well-known voice actor Steve Blum, who has just done about everything you can imagine. He's really popular for Wolverine. He's done the main character in Bulletstorm. He's done some stuff in Secret World. I mean, basically, like, there isn't anything anywhere that has voice acting that hasn't had Steve Blum in it. So we'll take a look at him over here. I've already been watching ZP from Temple Storm, playing a little bit of him. Had a 24-hour stream going on. He was hoping to finish out a stream getting Rexxar, and Rexxar did eventually get released. I wasn't watching him for a bit, but then did come back around and caught the stream. So what I'm going to do here is plug in my handy-dandy little Logitech G13, which is kind of like a Nostromo gamepad, and I pretty much only use it. I do use it for Diablo now, but I also use it extensively for HOTS. So here he is. Here is Rexxar and his bear, his druid wannabe, Misha. So let's take a look at the skins first. So we have Blackxar. We have Frostzar. And the stock, I kind of like the stock the most out of all of these. This one is really cool. I like the contrast. And hey, Arthas. I guess my cat is informing me that it is dinner time. So this one looks sort of very out of place for him. It has that kind of Reichel Wrath of the Lich King coloration to him. And it's not really, just don't think it's that fitting for him. A little bit of history for Rexxar. Rexxar was originally going from Stone Talon Mountains to Desolace was his patrol range. And then, hey buddy, he moved into Blades Edge Mountain in TBC. I think I have, I hate that mature filter. So here is his master skin. Stock skin, pretty cool. Really interesting armor on Misha. Perhaps Kodo Bones, maybe? Misha is absolutely huge, by the way, when you see them on the ready-up screen. Sort of back to the Wrath Blue. I like this blue a little bit better. And this makes him look very orc. I mean, that's classically green orc over there. Frostlord Rexxar. Basically, I mean, he looks like, Hodir over. He looks like one of the Hodir, and he kind of looks like that Cheese the Freeze boss in Oldar. The ice blocks and everything. I really like the faceplate on Misha for this one. That's very cool armor. This red sort of goes into the Pandarian-ish coloration over here, especially with the rock muscles and armor. And this one almost makes him look a little fell. The green is very fell, but the rest of him looks pretty standard. I would have to say I like the final one for the Frost Lord. I think probably the orc colored one for the master skin. And I actually like the stock skin over here the most. It kind of looks like, looks a little bit like Barrett from Final Fantasy VII. And there's their dizzy animation. So he gets dizzy, but the bear doesn't. That's kind of interesting. If we look at his abilities, his Q is Spirit Swoop, launch a hawk to damage enemies and slow them. Misha Charge orders Misha to charge, damaging and stunning enemies. And then Men Pet, which has a pretty quick cooldown, although Spirit Swoop is quicker. His trait is Misha attacking enemies. Unleash the boar, send a pack of boars to hunt enemy heroes. Sort of looks like the Merc Apocalypse. And the 60-second cooldown, and the slightly quicker one is Bestial Wrath, which increases the damage over there. Looking up at the talents, Grizzled Bear, Misha periodically reduces damage from enemy heroes. Regen, Survivalist, Regen Globes grant more mana. Flare, gain vision of an area. So I'm going to predict at level 1, this is going to be a toss-up between Grizzled Bear, I mean, I'd say about a good 70-80% of the time. And Flare for use if you have Stealthers on the other side. Karzim's reveal an area when you dash is phenomenal when you're working against Novas and Zeratul. It really trips them up. They really don't expect it. I've had several times where a Nova's just sat there thinking she was stealth, and I'm literally in her face punching her fucking twat in. And she's just going, why is this guy on top of me? I don't get it. She's, oh my god. And then she was dead. Hungry Bear. Misha's attacks heal her. Crippling Talons. Spirit Swoop slows. There's an increased duration and slow amount. Increases Spirit Swoop range and returns mana. Misha's more effective against minions and mercs. Tough tier. I think it's best to favor, based on what I've seen so far, it's best to favor things that help Misha. Rexxar, for being a warrior, is not. The warrior is Misha. The assassin is Rexxar. And I'm actually kind of interested in playing him simply because a hunter was really my first character in World of Warcraft. And one of my early pets that I absolutely loved was a polar bear called Bolivian Blow. I had a bear in some way, shape, or form throughout the leveling process, because back then in vanilla, the different animals had different things to them that really classified them different from other animals, and rare animals had rare stats. There was an old wolf in Feralist called Snarler that had like 100% resistance to everything when you tamed them. So I think Hungry Bear is kind of the way to go. Blood of the Rhino increases Men Pet duration. That sounds good. Throwing Axes increases the basic attack range. Misha's basic attacks lower Misha's Ooh, that's going to be a tough one. Both of these are really good for Misha. Lowering... Tough. This... Okay, I've seen Misha pair off really well with an Abathur hat. If you've got an Abathur, you may want to come off Blood and go for Aspect. This is going to be flavor right here. This one's going to be really, really tough to pick. Bestial Wrath is the way that I would go, at least starting off. Wildfire Bear. Okay, so this is the burning range, but on the bear himself. Thrill the Hunt. Basic attacks increase move speed. Cast Misha Charge. Again, if you don't hit a hero. Misha takes reduced ability damage after. Again, phenomenal choices over here. If you're going Misha Spect, I would think as you get used to the character, you may want to go with Barkskin, but if you're like heavily laning and you're not really good at getting the Misha Charge Bear, Necessities might be the way to go. I would say that he seems really good on Cursed Hollow. The narrow lanes of Cursed Hollow, Misha takes up like the whole fucking lane herself. Or himself. I guess it's a herself. That... Let's see, does it really say? Half ogre, blah blah blah. No, doesn't really mention it. This could be tough. Primal Intimidation. Attacking you or Misha slows basic attack speed. Interesting. Critical Care. Increases men pet healing when Misha's low. Feign Death. Become invulnerable. Oh. Aha. So that's a Feign Death and Eyes of the Beast at the same time. Very interesting. Maybe you could... This could be good for some interesting ganks. Leaving Rexxar in a bush and sending him in, or using Misha as bait to pull. Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. This is going to be a tough one. Primal Intimidation is going to be good if you're facing a lot of auto attackers, certain Vala builds, Zeratools, etc. Critical Care could be really good if you don't have a healer. Otherwise, Feign Death could be interesting. Spirit Bond increases bestial wrath duration, and Misha heals Rexxar. That could be interesting. Kill Command, Unleash the Boars, deals more damage, and it roots. Frenzy Kalimdor, so this is the Nexus Frenzy. Your basic attacks deal more damage, and Misha attacks slow, so that might be good with Primal Intimidation. I don't know if they'll stack or not. Alright, well, buying him is 15 or 9. Let's check out the bundle. The bundle is 13.11. That's not particularly bad.
Strength and honor.
Yeah, and honestly, if people are paying attention to chat, they'll notice that you just walk around the bear and beat the crap out of Rexxar. That's the counter right now. I would say that your Novas, your Zeratools, are going to be the big deal over here. You're gonna want to stay back and kind of treat yourself like a ranged assassin, really. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll jump into a game after picking him over here. And you can see my Karzim's now up to the middle talent. And we've got to find him in the portraits over here. There is similar bro Rhaegar. I've heard that he's been a little tough to find in the portraits. And actually, I think I agree. I don't know that I see a portrait for him. And I've got something blinking wildly on the side. Yep. I'm definitely not seeing him because he's going to be at a level 1. There he is, sorry. He's so close. Alright, so for mounts... That color doesn't quite fit. I think we will go with Lunar Tiger. Well, actually, I need to switch his skin. I may as well use Frostlord. And then for mounts, we will go with Blue Billy the Kid. That should be hysterical. So there you go. When the team comes in, you will see how huge Misha is over here. I mean, look at that. That is just 60% pure bear ass on your screen over here. And you can't make him dizzy over here. So we'll go ahead and pause until we get into a game, and then we'll see what's going on. Basically, as I'm just sitting here waiting for the game to load, just some things that I noticed while staring at the character over here. The helmet, the helm on Misha does make him look a little bit derpy, or her. We'll just say Misha from now on because I really don't recall the sex. And the icicle saber tooth over there really makes it look like the jaw is being sliced open every time. It just looks like it's getting absolutely destroyed by those teeth the whole time over here. We're definitely in the queue quite a while over here. Pretty much more than double the estimated time. So, back to pause until we actually get a game. Alright, so we have loaded into Infernal Shrines. Infernal! Infernal! You face Jiraxis. So we are going to move down here to the bottom. And we are going to pick nothing anti-stealthy. Alright, so we're going to go with Grizzled Bear. And of course we do have a Rexxar on the enemy team, which always you see on first day. This was never more apparent than perhaps on Leoric and Karzim first days. I think Leoric first day was like really, really bad. So we'll just start off this beginning over here. Oh, I'm revealed. Aho! Tassadar. So this Rexxar kind of knows what's up. Oh, revealed Tassadar over there. That was interesting. So at the moment I'm going for the enemy bear. Even though that's highly not recommended. But it should be fun. And Misha, my Misha's actually dead. So, of course, except for my swoop, I'm actually rather crippled at the moment. So I'm just going to go ahead and lane for a little bit. And we're going to avoid those spider mines there. That was pretty close. And let's send the bear in. I'm going to try to force this hammer out. And we're going to try to come back down, see if we can surprise anybody. That Tassadar knows what's up. Ooh, we almost had a kill there. Let's get that Tassadar because fuck him. And we get him. Totally worth it. But we're not doing super well. Oh shit. I stayed in there just enough to helped a little bit, but of course, unless you get the 30, it's not going to be any good. The demons have unleashed a frozen Punisher. So I went ahead and said Misha's basic attacks heal her, which should be good for fighting this dude, the frozen Punisher. Wow, Misha just melted. As you can see, the range is not that good for standard Rexxar without the bear. But Misha is back up. Pull Misha back. So there's definitely a lot of micro with Rexxar. Probably not as bad as the Vikings, which, believe it or not, I've never actually played. I'm actually scared to play the Vikings. Let's take a look at a camp down here and see how well Misha works on a camp. So I'm going to finish off the weak one myself and have Misha do this one. So, alright, he's pretty good at camps. I mean, this is relatively early on, and we went through that camp pretty well. I mean, we're out of mana a little bit, but we're not too hurt.
Power gathers within a shrine. Be ready, mortals. Do not let our enemy claim the Punisher's power.
Yeah, so we're gonna go with Aspect of the Beast on this one. And we're pretty healthy. Low on mana, but healthy, so we'll try to commit to this. Let's bring Misha back. Let's get her healed up. And let's send her back in again. Wow. So I don't know what the final count was, but definitely didn't do that well on that one either. So Misha does heal in the Nexus, that's good. And we are a whopping 3 levels behind, so this is not working out well here. So I'll just go ahead and pause this until the end and we get a little bit more talent. So, we have made a phenomenal comeback here after being 3 down to being 2 up. And I've definitely gotten used to Rexxar now at this point. I'll show you the build in just a moment. It's kind of discovered that when I wasn't recording, HOTS was performing a lot better, so it was definitely much easier to get all the control and everything going. So for my last talent, I went ahead and picked Primal Intimidation. And I also picked the one that says that if Misha misses, Misha gets that reduced cooldown. Oh, and that's where it's handy. He died before I got the second one off, but that whiff on the first one made the second one immediately available. So it's really good for doing objectives because it doesn't count as a hero hit, and it's also good for whiffing. As you can see there, it missed and hit all the mobs, but then didn't hit Rexxar or Misha, so it was available again, and then it hit Misha and stunned the enemy Misha out of the fight. Oh, I see a hammer. I see a hammer. Yeah, Rexxar does seem to be a pretty decent counter on hammer because of the stuns. If you can nail that skill shot when hammer's trying to boost out of there. Oh, well, fuck you then. Apparently I'm not needed. So we do have a camp available there in the northwest, which is what I'm going to head for. We've got 25 seconds in order to nail this thing. As you can see, the charge has been up quite often because these do not count as heroes. So this makes for really good camp management. And, you know, much like hunters in WoW, Misha will orient behind the enemy, which is pretty cool. Good for really douchey body blocking. And we're almost 20, so we're going to have those tier 20s pretty soon. We are not doing that well on this spire. See if I can lift a couple here. I went ahead and picked up the Nexus Frenzy. Oh, we're gonna get somebody. Nice. We got the enemy Dushadar. Wow. He just hung in there enough. Oh, are we gonna get a Tyrael? Are we gonna get a Tyrael? Are we gonna get a Tyrael? Worth it. So fucking worth it. Alright, so we'll pause until later in the game.
Our port is under attack.
Alright, so we did lose the game. Not really due to us amazingly much. The enemy minions basically whittled down the cores. We got a really nice late Arcane Punisher that probably would have won us, but minions worked us down. So looking at my final stats, I only died one time, which is not too bad for the first ever match on Rhaegar. This hat, I believe, is in World of Warcraft. I want to say it was TBC, potentially the one shamans used when they did the extra fight in the Rattlegore room at the bottom of Stratholme. Skullaman, sorry. I think this is like called the Mok'Nathal clan helm, if I remember correctly. But siege damage was pretty solid. Hero damage is gone, but yeah, it worked out. It worked out pretty well, and you just really have to get used to him. And honestly, I think one of the best abilities you can clearly do is pick the recharge, the bear charge, if you whiff. That seems to be an absolute lifesaver, and it really surprises people if they think, oh, well, that bear missed, and then it attacks again. So I got to go ahead and head out and enjoy Rexxar a little bit more without recording so that I have full control, and I hope everybody enjoyed the video. Take care.